Greetings everyone, my name is Jimmy Raffetto, and today I'll be discussing the Promise Keepers and their role in the 1990s. Before we begin, let me affirm that Liberty University believes that historians must be objective, fair, and honest in their investigations, and as always I've made every attempt to do so today. The Promise Keepers were a Christian men's movement that was started in Colorado in 1990 by two men, Bill McCartney, the University of Colorado football coach at the time, and Bill Wardell. The idea was to have a grassroots ministry through churches across the United States, combined with major conventions, mostly in the summer, mostly in large sports arenas, to bring men together and encourage them to be more godly men. Revival and discipleship were the two main focuses or emphases of the movement. They would also come to develop 7 promises that they would ask men to make. Promises to God, friends, purity, family, church, community, and the world. These promises emphasized the characteristics that the Promise Keepers believed made a godly man. Their first major conference was held in 1991 with just barely over 4,000 men. However, in 1992, Focus on the Family threw their support behind the Promise Keepers, and they started to gain attention and traction, partly because of the additional media attention and also partly because of their grassroots efforts. In 1994, over 270,000 men attended their conferences. PK continued to see this kind of rapid growth through the 90s and held larger and larger rallies for the next couple years, receiving major national attention, even a cover story on Time magazine. In 1997, PK reached their heyday, with almost 700,000 men attending their Stand in the Gap rally in the National Mall in Washington, D.C. It was an event that was a major success and drew attention from national media. Soon after that, though, the group started having financial troubles and PK's prominence began to wane in the late 90s. But from 1990 to 2000, it is estimated that around 5 million men attended PK conferences. Promise Keepers had a major influence on American men and culture at large during the 90s. And although Promise Keepers is still an active organization, the 90s was really their only time of major cultural relevance. Its numbers have dwindled, and it has struggled to receive media attention in the years since. For example, the last year that I could find attendance numbers for, 2008, saw only less than 25,000 men attend PK conferences. So who exactly are the Promise Keepers? Well, they're a Christian movement rooted in conservative Christianity and closely aligned with evangelicals. As a men's organization, their views of what a godly man is were important to the group's identity and to their influence among American Christians. While they were mostly evangelical, they were interdenominational and sought to bring varying Christians together. They also attempted, with some but limited success, to reach across racial and socioeconomic lines. In fact, their current president is an African American. Keeping with evangelical teachings, PK taught that men and women have biologically different roles and that men should be the leader of the household. They seek to reinstill traditional family and gender roles and encourage men to take back leadership role in their families that they perceived had largely been abdicated by men and therefore left to women. They taught that a man's role is that of a servant leader who loves and serves his wife and family, putting them before himself. They also taught that all sex outside of marriage, including homosexuality, is sinful. Following typical evangelical strategies, PK speakers tended to emphasize change through personal relationships and personal interaction. So they weren't very political, and they didn't campaign very much. It is my opinion that their lack of political activity actually helped them bring men together, unifying them in the fundamentals of faith and not in political issues. Promise Keepers were sometimes a lightning rod of criticism for those who oppose evangelical ideas about homosexuality or gender roles, but for the most part, they were able to bring evangelical men together, emphasize revival, emphasize discipleship, and really see pretty major influence on evangelical men. That's all I have for today. Thank you for listening.